And I remember reading an interview with John Cleese like 10 years after all that, and they were reflecting on it. He goes, "We really are just quite silly, weren't we?" And I was like, "That's all right. Let's all be silly. I'm good with that."
Any guy who could do the ministry of silly walks.
That's still my favorite thing
Can't
to
be
do.
all bad.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers,
Here we
guys.
go. My God, we're not on now, are we?
Yes,
Is it
we
okay
are.
for us
Oh,
to get
what a terrible
liquored up
start.
on television? Is that
Absolutely,
weird?
why
All right.
not? This is the internet. We can do whatever we want.
Well, wait, let's do this as though it's a real show.
Okay.
Seth Green, welcome to, what's the name of the show?
Cocktails with Stan.
Welcome to Cocktails with Stan.
Well, thank you, Stan.
And I have no idea why we invited you, but
Me neither.
I'll talk to our booking agent
Well,
later
I
and
came
give
anyway.
her hell. So you do some stuff in entertainment, don't you?
I do
In
some
form or
entertainment things, yeah.
other? Yeah, now I've heard somewhere that you do something called Robot Chicken.
I have to tell you, every time you say the name of our show, it just makes me so happy that I can't even explain
And the
it.
3 or 4 viewers that we have, they now know it, and
Well-
it'll spread like dropping a pebble in the water and the ripples. Maybe 5 or 6 people will know your show before we know it.
It
You've
doesn't
been on
even.
it.
Robot Chicken.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter if anybody watches it. Just hearing you say it.
I know, I say it beautifully.
It's that I grew up with your voice, being inspired and entertained by your voice. So hearing you say
And this
something.
is the best, the inspiration of my voice. This is the,
I'm so sorry,
the
I
best
couldn't
result
actualize
it
it
could
into
get.
something more
Robot
significant.
Chicken.
Maybe
Hey,
one day we'll
seriously.
accomplish something.
Seriously, Seth, you do so many things in showbiz. For one guy, tell us some of the other things you're working on. It's not that I want him to tell us that I have no idea.
That's true. He's very busy.
Star Wars
Can't be-
Detours.
Oh my gosh, can we talk about that?
Yes,
I guess
please.
we can. I guess we
What
can
did you
talk about it
mention?
to the extent.
Star Wars Detours.
Oh yeah, I want to hear about that.
So this is a comedy that George Lucas created in the Star Wars universe, and he brought me and my partner Matt Senreich.
no,
and
he brought my partner and me.
my partner and me.
Gee,
Matt Senreich.
all right,
Well, I
we'll
was
do it
making a
over.
list.
Let's start again. Welcome to.
Is it? Well, actually, this is a good question. So there's 3 people in the equation. It's me, Matthew Senreich, and Todd Grimes. So would it be me? Would it be my partner, me, and Todd Grimes, or would it be? How would I say
No,
that?
you'd
correctly?
throw yourself at the end.
Throw myself at the end. So it was my partner Matthew Senreich, Todd Grimes, and me to.
In my case, I would say, and my own magnificent self, but to each his own.
Wait, but do you want to talk about that? How grammar is dying in culture, and how important it is for us to police all of these teenagers on their phones?
That's the way we end the show.
Oh, in the end, okay.
Until then, we'll hear
grammar
a little
discussion
more
comes at
from
least,
you.
yeah.
Sorry.
You better talk quickly. I won't give you much chance later because I get started and forget it.
Okay, fair enough. Well, so this show, we got to premiere it at the Star Wars Celebration because George said even though we're not certain where it's going to be distributed yet, he wanted the fans to see it in that forum. So we got to show a bunch of clips and tell people what we've been working on, and it was very exciting.
That sounds great.
It's really funny.
I'm
I
glad
watched
you dig
it.
it.
And the
Yeah.
amazing
Trailer.
thing is, you wouldn't think to look at him, but everything this guy does is clever, it's unique, and it's different.
You're sweet.
And I am really so proud to know you, Seth.
Oh my goodness,
And
that's
the
hard
fact
for
that
me to
I've
even
had-
take in my heart.
No, really, because you are one talented guy, and the guy I've done a couple of voices on your show.
It's true.
sometimes,
It's true. We actually just had him on, and you play an executive that forces an entire studio to remake all their classics, but with new twist endings. And you also play yourself in the Avengers musical.
Oh,
The
that makes me
Avengers
so
music.
happy.
Yeah,
That's
you're
right.
playing the piano.
But you see, that's all frivolous stuff. On this show, Seth, we want to hear about your hopes, your dreams,
Yeah.
your aspirations. We take our guests and we delve deeply, in depth. We want to know the real you, the real gestalt behind whatever your name is.
I like to make stuff, and I've always liked acting, and I've been lucky enough to be acting my whole life.
Because
and
you're damn good at it.
You're
that's
very
why.
sweet. Well, I work really hard at it, and I don't feel like I've ever learned enough, so I keep trying to get better. And
Well, you can always come to me, you know, whenever there's something you want to learn.
I do, yeah, no, I do. I'll be staked outside your house like John Cusack with a boombox.
Well, please take a picture of that and tweet it.
He'll take it from his window and then send it to the cops and be like, "Can you please do something about this stalker
I tend to
situation?"
do that.
He only writes longhand, you understand?
Oh, of course.
With
of
my
course.
left hand, though, you got the wrong hand.
Sorry.
That's
Well,
all right.
You do like between, what is it, 35 and 60 voices a day sometimes?
Well, per episode, all that really means is in any given script we have, for Robot Chicken, we have 12 to 14 segments, and each one of them has like 1 to 20 characters in it. And so we only have the budget for 5 to 7 actors, each of which who will play 3 roles. And so you do that math and you wind up with a lot of excess. And so the deal that I made is a complicated one, but it allows me to play a lot of other characters. So if there's some ancillary like, what are you doing? Or look out, then I'll just do that.
That's
but
awesome.
but it racks up to a lot, and so I wind up doing like 30 to 60.
But you notice the way he did that. Anybody else would have just done, what are you doing, or look out. But you notice the way he said, what are you doing, or look out. I mean, just in those few words, you could see the Orson Welles mystique that this man possesses.
Very well done.
So silly.
Do you ever feel a little
I
schizophrenic?
am adorable, I
Yeah,
admit it.
it's true. It's true. My wife actually wanted to know who's your favorite X-Man, because X-Men's her favorite, the Claremont
Really?
stuff's her
Oh,
favorite.
glad to hear that.
Yeah, and she wanted to know. I said, well, what do you want me to ask Stan, honey? And she goes, oh, ask him who his favorite X-Man is.
My favorite X-Man. I've
Yeah.
never really thought, I'm not good at favorites because I tend to like
Who do you-
everything I've
who do
ever
you-
been
well,
connected with.
That's fair.
But,
It's all been pretty awesome.
If I had to pick a favorite, I think I find Magneto the most interesting.
Yeah.
Because I like a guy who's a little bit evil, just enough, just
Yeah.
evil enough, very powerful, very unique, sort of like you. Unique, likable, but you don't want to trust him too much. I wouldn't trust you as far as I could throw you. I got to tell you.
I don't think you could throw me too far.
No, I
So
couldn't
that
throw
doesn't
too far either.
bode well for our handshake agreements.
Anyway, so would you tell
I will
you?
pass
I
that
don't
on,
want your
yeah.
wife to be frustrated.
No, she'd be
You
really
tell her
excited.
Magneto, and right next to him is Professor X.
Ooh, I like that combination.
Because I think of myself, Professor X and I have a lot in common. You
Yeah.
know, that great intellect, that certain charisma,
Yes.
that ability to influence and affect people. In fact, maybe I like him as much as Magneto. Maybe it's maybe a little more. No, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, we were talking about your wife, who is the very awesome Claire Grant. How did you guys meet? It was at a comic book store, right?
How
Yeah.
long you been married?
Been married 2 years this past May.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
a newlywed.
Still newlywed, yeah, but
Wow.
we actually really like each other, so that helps. But we have the same interests, and I think that's the key to it.
That helps a lot.
If you like the same stuff, if you're entertained in the same way, if you are enthusiastic about the same things and get affected by the same things, I think you have a good chance of staying together. But we met in a comic book shop. We had both moved from different places to Los Angeles and been like, all right, where's my home-based comic shop? Came to Golden Apple. And
I remember that. Yeah, sure.
and then befriended the family that ran the place. And then when they were moving down the street at their grand reopening, which you were at as well, Claire, they asked her if she would take pictures. She's a photographer as well as an actress. And they asked me to come and do a signing because I had a book that came out. So I met her that night, but we didn't even hang out. It was just to remember that she was
Met her
there.
in a comic book store.
Yeah.
At
Kind
the
of awesome.
Golden
In my
Apple.
home-based comic store, yeah.
Wow.
And then we saw each other again at San Diego Comic-Con in like a friend's room at a room party. And then throughout the con, we just kept crisscrossing and we knew all the same people, liked all the same stuff. And we were just friends for like 10 or 11 months before we even started making out.
Boy, it takes
I
you a
know.
long time to make up your mind.
I was dead set against being with somebody. I really just, I didn't want to be in a relationship at all. And I
Really?
liked her
Why?
so much, I didn't want to like frivolously pursue it and then, lose her. So I didn't.
But what made you so antisocial?
I had just, I've been in, I kissed a lot of frogs, man. I've been in a lot of relationships and you put your heart in it, you're earnest in every effort. And then if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, I usually just need to take a minute and regroup and remember who I am and make sure that I'm getting into things for the right reasons.
Son of a gun. He does have a serious moment
See,
now.
you
and then.
wanted to go
I thought he
deep,
never
Stan.
did.
Well, no, I've done some drama, Stan. It's in my early, you might not have seen it.
But see, but this is incredible. You met her at a comic book store and at a Comic Con, and well, you should, for your anniversary, you should give comic books for presents. I mean, they're so important.
We
My
should- well,
comic
our-
books, of course.
Our wedding invitation kind of looked like a comic with like voice captions and
that's great.
Meanwhile and
A little
stuff like
photo
that.
with me.
Yeah, you were in there. As a matter of fact.
Of course. Well, now,
So maybe you should have brought her along. She's probably far more interesting
She
than
loves
you.
you. You met her a couple times, and when you were in, she and her Team Unicorn made a Geek and Gamer Girls video, and they came to your office and danced all over, and you were
Oh
like,
yeah,
these
yeah,
girls.
yeah. That's right.
They
Oh,
love you,
she's
man.
lovely.
how do you forget
Wow.
that, Stan?
No, I didn't.
That's kind of awesome.
You know
just
what
he-
it was? I was thinking of her. It didn't occur to he was out of my mind.
No, well, when she walks in the room, it's very hard to see anybody else.
Oh,
Well, congratulations.
You just
Good
got
for you.
points.
Thank you.
Well, now you did.
And even better for her, and good for you, and better for you. And all right, here we go.
We're the ultimate Marvel team up.
It's true. It's true. But what are you doing for DC now?
Oh, we got to make a half-hour Robot Chicken all about DC Comics because we were good friends with Jeff Johns, and he invited us to do all half-hour DC. So it's as close to a linear story as I guess we get. Story of Aquaman, constantly the butt of everyone's jokes, always struggling for respectability, and he wants to feel cool, and so he the last straw. And then he joins the Legion of Doom and plans to exact revenge on the Justice League.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
and you
and that's
cast
the story.
you are Aquaman.
Well, I got to play Aquaman, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, naturally, he'd be the star.
I didn't even think of it in those terms. We just put other people in all the roles that were going to be really like challenging and exciting, and then I was like, oh, I'll handle Aquaman because
Why
I don't
would
think
Aquaman feel that he was the butt of everyone's joke? Well,
Aquaman
if you're
takes a-
Aquaman, you're a superhero.
So you would think so, right? But he takes a beating, and he has,
Really?
especially in pop culture, in the last 20 years, as people really reflect and say, well, what were Aquaman's abilities, what were his powers, and what were his uses, and where's his
control.
effectiveness outside of water, and how good is
we
telepathic
didn't have that
control
problem
of the fish?
with Namor the Submariner.
I
Because
was
he,
gonna say.
because he parties outside the water too. But there's been Jeff Johns especially has taken an effort to redefine Aquaman in the current comic canon and show people why he's so cool. And it just timed out perfectly with our story because he's the hero. He gets to beat up bad guys and you know what I mean. Do the
You're
big
saying
routines.
it so seriously. Isn't this funny?
It's the best. Yeah.
It's got to be funny.
I'm sure you feel the same way, Stan. I cannot believe, as a kid that grew up drawing and getting my ass kicked for loving toys and comics, that I have turned this into not only a career, but an opportunity to meet heroes and legends and work and interact with them and make the stuff that
Yeah, you're
I've
pretty
always
lucky.
loved. Yeah, very
That's true.
lucky.
And you have Nathan Fillion on there,
Yeah.
Neil Patrick Harris,
Yes.
and Megan Fox, right?
It's true. It's true. And can I say Paul Rubens played the Riddler for us, and Brecken plays Superman. Breckenmeyer plays Superman. Steven Tyler came and sang a song for us.
Oh,
my
wow.
It's insane. It's actually just kind of insane, and I'm really excited about it.
Now you just did the Roseanne roast, right?
I did, yeah.
Well, first of all, what was that like? Because I always wonder when you're doing a roast if it's sort of difficult to rib somebody or it's.
Well, that
I
whole
love
format
roasts.
is. I like roast too. That whole format is kind of unique, and especially in her case because.
Who's the her? I missed that.
It's Roseanne
Roseanne.
Barr.
Oh, you did a Roseanne
Yeah, I got to
Barr
roast Roseanne Barr, and Carrie Fisher was there. It was a really good. It was a fun night.
Well,
I
did you-
love roasts.
Me too.
I don't care.
Have you ever
whether-
been roasted? Has anybody
Yeah.
roasted?
I think
oh,
you
I've
should
been
roast
roasted
it.
a lot. But I don't care if I'm the roastee or the roaster.
Really?
I love that kind of humor. I love insult
If
humor.
that's the truth.
As long
Oh.
as it's done in good taste.
Oh, something's about to
What
happen.
am I boring you?
No, just wanted
You'd rather get under the table
Well,
than
I-
listen to me?
Oh,
I found this
my.
photo.
What's that?
This is a famous
That's
picture.
Oh, come on.
Yep.
Where did you get
That
I
happened.
found this on the internet.
Oh,
There's
for
this fabulous
God's sake.
research
Are they
tool.
circulating that?
Well, I started circulating it, but here's the thing. I've seen the original, the Burt Reynolds, on the Mink rug, and I have to say, yours is more impressive.
Well, you know what happened. Burt Reynolds, and for those of you who were too young, he was a big star years ago.
He was the biggest.
Oh yeah.
He did for Cosmopolitan magazine, for some reason that I don't know, he posed on a rug kind of naked, like a male
Totally
pinup.
naked.
Except it was covered
Covered,
enough,
yeah.
but you knew he wasn't wearing anything.
But then the look on his face is just like, yo, yeah, that's right.
Very good. You're exactly right. So the guys in the bullpen said, gee, we ought to do something like that. Because the thing I loved about our guys is they're all crazy. And they said, hey, Stan, why don't you pose like that? I don't know what made me say okay, but they were so enthusiastic. I said, okay. So I put on a little pair of shorts, which don't show, and I posed like that. And now I am so embarrassed. I mean,
good. You know what?
It's
good
obvious that I am a very dignified, elder statesman type of person
I
now.
think we should hold that up again.
And I don't know that.
What you should notice is the comic that's covering all your unmentionables is the Batman versus the Hulk.
Well, I felt it had to be something that was appropriate for the occasion.
But there's only a handful of times that you guys have ever done like cross publisher.
Oh, I did a book, Spider-Man versus Superman.
I actually bought that as a birthday present for Joss
really?
Whedon. Yeah.
Excuse me, are you dismissing that photo that quickly?
No.
I mean,
We can
this
talk more about
this
it.
I've actually got
photo,
a
which
blow-up
the
of it.
original will probably sell for $8 or $9
Who
somewhere.
do you think has that film? This is all.
Anyway, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Put it face down.
Okay.
Never show it again. And
Fair
don't
enough.
forget that
There
we
is a
saw that.
candle if you want to burn it up.
I'm going to take a sip of this because it's
only
called
gotten
Cocktails
better.
with Stan.
Right.
I'm going to take a sip while you think of an incredibly provocative question to ask.
Incredibly
our guest.
I'm going to
provocative.
take a sip too and contemplate my
Oh
answer.
my God. All right. Well, I want to know why you didn't do something with Marvel.
I will tell you
Very
this.
good.
You like
oh, we'll talk later.
All
That's
right.
good.
Well, it just so happened that the timing of it worked out where DC approached us first. But in our season, which starts the following week after the special premieres at September 9th, we walked out of the Avengers just so inspired, and so there's like 5 Avengers sketches on Robot Chicken proper through the season, all different versions of it, including the Avengers musical where you're playing piano.
That's very happy.
Yeah.
I actually heard on the Lord of the Rings set they actually did a Lord of the Rings musical.
Is that true?
Mm-hmm. I think you should do Little Lord of the Rings, Little Hobbit spoof.
We've-
I'm sorry, it was a Hobbit set.
We've done a couple of musical things, and we always have a lot of fun with them. In fact, this season, we've had more music than before. We had, I can't even believe this, we had the RZA from Wu-Tang Clan do what we're calling a pescatarian rap, all about being pescatarian. And then we had 50 Cent do our Parappa the Rapper sketch.
Oh, that's great.
Which is insane. And Kesha came and played our sexy, sentient, warmongering robot.
See, the thing that's great about what you do is it's all humorous, it's all satirical, it's all partial parody, and I love that.
Me too. I grew up reading National Lampoon and Mad Magazine
yeah.
and watching Monty Python and Saturday Night Live and listening to Richard Pryor and Bill Cosby, which is very informed.
Monty Python.
Yeah.
Was there ever anyone greater than Monty Python?
There's only people who have elaborated on the theme, but they were.
Yeah.
I mean, I credit Flying Circus with being inspirational for Robot Chicken, just the format of it, the way there was all the interstitial paper cut animation and non sequitur plots,
Right.
Sometimes a through line, but mostly just ludicrousness. And I remember reading an interview with John Cleese like 10 years after all that, and they were reflecting on it. He goes, "We really are just quite silly, weren't we?" And I was like, "That's all right. Let's all be silly. I'm good with that."
Any guy who could do the Ministry of Silly Walks.
That's still my favorite thing
Can't
to
be
do.
all bad.
I will do that going down the street.
Or the parrot isn't dead. You remember that one?
This parrot is
That
deceased.
parrot is dead. No, he's not. Oh man, they were great.
I got to work with John Cleese on a movie, and
envy
I had that one moment where he's in the makeup trailer, like getting his business together, and we've already like met and done scenes together and stuff. But I'm just standing behind him, and I realized that I was staring, and he sort of caught my eye, and I said, "I'm so sorry. I just have to tell you that you and your buddies and the shows that you made were really critically inspirational in just about everything that I've done. So see ya." And then I ran.
Oh, you didn't wait to hear his clever retort?
Couldn't hear it. Was like too weirded out by it and just bugged out. And then he, to his credit, I was almost awkward to even like see him the next time he saw me. He goes, "You want to kick a soccer ball around?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." And we were both in suits for the movie, and we were just out on the field kicking a soccer ball around. Like
that's
it's no
great.
big deal. It was awesome. It was awesome.
That's so cool. Well, on that note, you're ready to wrap?
Ooh, thank you so much for
Cheers,
having me.
gentlemen.
Hey,
Pleasure.
I couldn't have had that. We couldn't have done this without you. I mean, we probably could have. It might even have been better, but thanks for coming.
Thank you for having
My
me.
favorite robotic chicken person. There should be something incredibly dramatic I could say, except I love you, Seth.
I love you back.
Thank you.
Hey, Stan, do you want to give us an Excelsior?
Oh, yeah, I've got to give you an Excelsior. You ready for this?
I hope so.
Excelsior!